Hey guys, what's going on? As you can see, this isn't as polished of a scene or a setup as I normally have, but I got something important that I want to share with you. We're going to get to the video. The video is great. I've had the video ready for a while, but this is something completely different. It is right before the holidays, whether you're seeing this live or down the road, something awful happen, and things like this can happen. One of the crews that I've done a lot of work with over the last 2 years, probably 50 projects, somehow, two-way street, there were 4 guys in the truck, and they were hit, I believe, head on, and 3 of them died at the scene, and one's in critical at the hospital. It's just absolutely insane that this kind of stuff happens. And the guy that I want to spotlight, his name is Jose. He's 25. He has 4 kids, 7 down to 2. Little kids, right? And his girlfriend is in this spot, this like the nightmare of nightmares. And we've set up a GoFundMe to help. And I wanted to reach out because every little bit helps. This family needs support. This family needs help. I'm going to have it in the links below, but it's right before Christmas. And I think about those kids. I think about his girlfriend. I've cried a couple times for sure. Like it just, I'm trying to keep it together here. It hits home. And I think about my kids. You probably think about, what if that happened to you, you know? And if there's any way that you can donate a couple bucks, you know, got 42,000 subscribers on this channel. And if any of you are watching, if you think about if all of us give 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever, how much of an impact that could have on that family. I really want to help them. I really want to make a difference. This is a platform that I have, and you guys are amazing. I've had so many great experiences with this audience, just getting to know some of you as far as, doing work together and your comments and everything. Please think of this family. Please help them. They deserve better. And Jose, one of those guys, always had a smile, very nice human being, never complained, always took care of things. Like, you couldn't think of a nicer guy. His family needs your help, and I pray that you'll make a contribution and help them. So I had to say that. I have a great video for you. Let's get into it. Different energy, obviously, because this just happened literally yesterday. I'm shocked by this awful circumstance. So please do what you can. Think about that family. Think about his girlfriend. Think about those kids and help. Okay? So here we go with the video. Bye. We all love those YouTube channels that show beautiful montages of backyard or front yard or pools or whatever, like top 100 this, top 100 that. They're awesome for gathering inspiration, ideas, and then saying, dream a little bit to bring it into your space. Problem is, they don't really take you under the hood and give you any information outside of a beautiful picture. How difficult is the install? How long is it gonna take? What do I need to expect? How much is it gonna cost? I wanna give you some really valuable information with some pictures that I've cherry-picked specifically for you when it comes to landscaping, so that if you're looking to tackle that kind of project, say this coming spring, you got some valuable information, you know where to start. Let's get right into it. Okay, this first one is really cool. I love nature and natural and boulders and stuff creeping around and growing. This has got me all over it, and I hope that you really like this. But here's what's cool about this picture. What you see is there's a walkway leading from the stairs. Like, here's your transition. It comes down. It might go over to a garage over here, but then it goes over to like a little fire pit destination. Like, how cool is that? Now, this is kind of tricky. I've had a couple clients like this who try to put a water feature in their front yard or a fire pit area in their front yard, and it doesn't fit the house. I would say it's gonna fit a bigger house, a longer house, it's gonna fit in there. Take those elements and put them in the backyard if you don't have a bigger home. I just think it's trying too hard, and it doesn't really increase the curb appeal. But Something like this where you've obviously got a little bit of grade, you got boulders, you got this landscaping, it provides depth and interest, and it breaks this up. Look, they even have all these cool little curves for the lawn. I think this is beautiful, and we can learn a lot from this. As far as the difficulty of the install, it's quite simple outside of the hardscaping, which isn't too hard or easy. So you're probably gonna hire a crew for that. These boulders, believe it or not, they're pretty heavy. So you're gonna need pieces of equipment to bring those in. You could go smaller, but the bigger ones that break up the small is what gives it the pop. So you're more than likely gonna hire a crew to bring that kind of stuff in, probably lay the walkway if you have the space for this, or you can just do stepping stones. You can get creative. How much something like this costs right here? Let's just talk about the whole thing. The fire pit area, the boulders, the landscaping, everything. Install, you're probably gonna pay between $15,000 to $20,000 for something like this. If you're handy and you can do it yourself, I think you could probably install this around that 8 marker, because there's a lot of material, there's a lot of natural elements in this one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so here's number 2. I am kind of in the way floating around. I'll just move myself in this corner. No, I'm gonna put myself over here. I apologize. Okay, so you got a classic house. It looks like a new build, subdivision. The homes look fairly similar. We've all seen this, right? There's a couple things I don't really like here. I'm not a big fan of lava rock. I think that this could be softened tremendously with mulch. And then I want you to pay attention to this edging right here. This is a poured concrete edging. It's kind of expensive. You can get it lots of colors, lots of stamps. It holds everything in. Those are pluses. But as a designer, I don't like it very much. I'll say that I think it looks very cookie cutter and manufactured, because it is. And it's just not very natural and flattering. And I think the majority of people, say you were going to sell your home. I've had a client who literally just had this, and we took it out because they were going to sell their house, and it just looked very hodgepodge. It's not going to appeal to a lot of buyers. So before you invest a bunch of money, because that stuff is expensive, I would consider that for the future. But if you really love it, more power to you, go for it. You'll have to hire a concrete company. They'll come in, put it in. I think the price on this is going to be anywhere between $10 to $15 a linear foot. It might actually be higher now. So like I said, not cheap. You start doing the runs. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I'm gonna absolutely drool all over this picture because I love stuff like this. The simplicity of this is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous, and this is so easy. This is a great landscape feature for almost any home, like probably every single home. All you're doing is filling in with some beautiful grasses. That could even be ground cover, but I like the grasses to give a little bit more pop. A Hamlin grass is a great option for this. This looks like a blue fescue, but it depends on what zone you're in. And then boom, you just got boom, a pop of color with this beautiful focal point, a beautiful tree, a beautiful pot, a beautiful boulder. That is all you are doing with this. And I'm telling you, it adds so much to the facade of a home, no matter what kind of home it is. But I see this a lot in California. I see this a lot on modern homes, but it goes anywhere. It goes absolutely anywhere. As far as the install, how much easier could this get? You're digging holes, dropping them in, and you're done with it. As far as the cost of something like this, these are gonna add up. Say they're 20 bucks a pop, and you got, I don't know, 80 of them right here. So I would say all in with the materials, you're around $2,000, and we don't even know what's on the other side of these stairs. But the point is, they are gonna get a little bit bigger. You don't have to put it in this full. You can add little areas. There could be a little circle around this tree that's open, where you could put perennials or annuals or keep it open. That is up to you. But I love this look. I think this look goes about anywhere. So before I just drool some more, let's go to the next one. Okay, I've picked this one on purpose because I think a lot of people are gonna look at this and it's gonna be interesting, and they're gonna be like, that looks pretty nice, but it's just a little off, isn't it? Like, what is it about this that just doesn't quite look right? And I think it's one of those classic examples of trying a little too hard. Here's the problem I have. I'm gonna move myself out of the way. I'm gonna put myself up in this corner. This little part right here of this Iowa Rainbow Rock, Chicago Buff, like whatever this multicolored rock is, it's a little messy. See how the mulch is starting to kind of dive into there? Why is this rock really there? And you could be like, well, it's there because we don't want the mulch going onto the sidewalk. But here's the thing, if you dig a little groove on the other side of the sidewalk, the mulch is going to fill into there. It's not going to spill over. You could even do a piece of black steel edging right there. I feel like this is unnecessary and it makes the whole thing look a little weird. If this was all mulch coming down, or you had some more ground cover here and you didn't see this, and then you had this little dry creek area, I don't mind this too much. I think it breaks it up a little bit. It might be a little obnoxious, but you know, I can live with it. You could just mulch this whole thing in. But if you want to add a little interest, I'm okay with this. This has got to go. So if you are looking for some curb appeal where you want to integrate mulch and rock, I would say get a design for sure. Get a design so you can see it beforehand, before you start carving everything out. You put in all this sweat equity and then you're like, I don't really like it. Like, what did we do wrong? This is what will happen. As far as how much this whole thing costs, with all the plants, materials, I'd say you're at about $3,500 to get somebody to install this. This isn't too bad. This rock, you're probably $150 right there, and mulch doesn't cost a lot. So, you know, I hope you can pick up a couple tips from what I just said if you're considering the old rock, stone, mulch look. Next. Oh baby, you know I'm gonna go crazy on this one. All right, where am I gonna move myself this time? I'll put myself in between here. Okay, so I love this. I absolutely love this. This has got me written all over it, and I'm sure most of you watching think this is pretty cool. So here is why this is so cool and why you should absolutely take risk in your landscaping. This right here, of course, you would think that probably goes with more of a modern vibe, this kind of carved out with the numbers. It could be in the front yard, on the side, and then you know, it obviously gives the address of the home, but it also can cover up unsightly things. Say there's a utility behind here. This is a classic example of what you can do. I just did a design for somebody, I think it was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they had a bunch of big utilities, like monstrous, and we did something like this that was actually an L. So it was not just one flat and then covered, it actually covered it from all angles. So if you were looking at the home, you couldn't see the utilities behind it. And then you just snazz it up, you know, jazz it up with some cool numbers, and you know, it adds a lot of oomph. And then breaking it up with some different heights and colors and textures. This has got absolutely all of it. You got these beautiful evergreens in the back, these fessy grasses, some coral bells. It looks like we got black-eyed Susans. I mean, all different colors, variety, texture. This is something that you can absolutely do in a front yard to hide utilities, on the side, to make a bed jump off the page. Love this. Absolutely do this. Yes. Okay, this is a beautiful picture. Definitely putting this in a backyard, right? But here's a little pro tip for you. And by the way, the cost of the last one with the utility hider, you're probably only like $1,500 all in for all that stuff. So that's a really cool thing that you can do. But back to this guy. There's a couple things that I love and a couple things I want you to watch out for if you are considering a water feature. I love how they've got the stepping stones with the grass in between, and then there's this little break where you can go and you can kind of hover out over the water feature. Really cool. You got this little gazebo. All this fits and is shaped. It's very well designed. And the reason it's well designed is because this water feature, I think, is strategically placed in a really good spot. I have installed a lot of water features in my day, and specifically with hillsides. People were like, well, we can't really do anything. Let's put a water feature. But they put the water feature right in the middle, and it almost comes into the middle of the yard, and it's like you're walking around it. You can't really have any real estate in the backyard for future, like kids playing or a patio or whatever it is. I like how this is off to the side or in the back, but you still obviously can see it from all different angles of the yard. If they had taken this water feature, say they put the gazebo over here and they put the water feature in the middle, now it's taken up like the majority of the backyard, right? So when you were considering one, put it off somewhere or put it in a bed that's on the outskirts. Don't drop it in the middle and just destroy any future opportunities for your backyard. Let's go to the last one. Dang it, I did it again. The cost of the last one, I didn't even really get into it. Gazebo, you probably got 10K there for somebody to build that. Water feature, 15 to 20 grand. Lawn, I was like, what's the point, right? But it's expensive to do something like that. Budget in, I'd say a good $25,000 for that kind of thing. Then you got all the turf repair, 30, 35, plants, landscaping, you know, whatever. This is the last one, and the reason I love this one is it's very simple. Okay, anybody can put something like this in their back. This is going to be for a city house, a smaller home, maybe it's a town home, and it's a little intimate, beautiful little area. But here's what I want you to pay attention to. You see this elevated bed right here? This is to address, obviously, some elevation, some grade that's going on. So they framed it out with a planter. I think anytime there's an opportunity to put a planter in to soften a space, it's great. A lot of the times people are going to put a little seating wall here, and it might just be too much hardscaping for a small space. So by putting in this planter, I would swap this out with mulch, and you can put in some plants right here and bring some color, bring some vibrance. Now, here's a little thing I don't like. These are railroad ties. They've stained them, they've sealed them, whatever. They're gonna last a while, 10 to 12 years, but eventually termites are gonna get to it and it's gonna rot out. So I would replace this with blocks or stone, something else. But paying attention to the elevation, paying attention to how to frame in an area and soften it, an elevated planter is a great way to go. And the cost on this one, this little elevated planter outside of, you know, some sweat equity, if you're gonna pay somebody, they're probably gonna put this in for $800 to $1,000. You could do this yourself for $200 to $300. So it really depends on how handy you are and how much you wanna bust it. Most of the time I'm gonna say hire somebody and do what you do, making money, and have them go out and break their backs. You know, like a lot of people don't like doing this, but if you like it, that's what to expect. Here's the next video I want you to watch, and I want you to watch it because I get into some detailed, deep analysis just like this one for some more spaces, more landscaping, more walkways, more backyard kind of spaces. Super valuable. It's got almost 90,000 views, so obviously I did a good job on that one. It's worth watching. This is Bobby K saying creation is everything, so go out and create. I'll see you on the next video.